Hi everyone, I'm JD, but welcome back to my channel. I've got my vintage junk journal here. Let's just do a bit of a flip through and I'll get to the next page that I have done in here. Oh, I love how it looks. Oh, this always happens. Let's stick this one back on. Okay, let's keep on going. I just love flipping through these pages so much. Every page has so much meaning and every page is beautiful to me. Now this one, it's a bit different. It's very simple. I haven't done a lot to it. I might go in later and I'll try and add some labels or some stickers or something, some tiny word stickers maybe, just to jazz this page up a bit more. But yeah, there's no problem just doing your basic layout or pre-decorating and then coming back in later once you know what you want to put there. Sometimes you need to let a page rest and come back to it fresh with fresh eyes, and that will give you some space to know, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. So yeah, I'm going to fill this in a bit later on and maybe do a bit of embellishing there, but I want to keep it a bit more simple because this is the star of the show. I added it with double-sided tape to make a pocket here, and then I'm going to utilize that in the next page spread, which I've already planned out. But anyway, so this is actually from a book. It's called The Last Lecture. This was the dust jacket. I picked up the book in an op shop and it was a hardcover, and when I took this off, the dust jacket, it had a beautiful, the design and the pattern was still on the front cover of the book. So I'm like, yep, I'm happy taking off the cover. And you know, since it was only from the op shop, I'm cool cutting that up. I cut everything up anyway, but I just cut off the front cover, and I love this cover so much. It's kind of raised. You can feel the raised texture of the embossed lettering or something. And I love how it kind of looks vintage as well, old, so it fits in with this journal page spread. But the reason I put this here is because this is, you know, like a library card. So I thought this page needed to be something about, it says library, about books. And I thought maybe I'll just do a general page about my love of books. But then I thought, no, let's write about a specific book. And the one I chose was this one. This is one of my all-time favourite books. One that I generally would recommend that anyone could read and would get something out of. But it's one of my favourites because I love the writing style, the way it's laid out, the structure. But it's basically this guy's life lessons and what he wants to pass on to his kids and to us, the next generations, that kind of thing. And I just absolutely love his life lessons. He writes with wit, he's very intelligent, very insightful, and unconventional. So I might want to write those words here, something like witty, intelligent, and unconventional. Those are the three things that stood out to me in this book. And I really love unconventional living, where you have your own convictions. It might be different to other people's, different to societies and cultures around you, but it goes along with your core beliefs, your core values, and you're just so, you know, you just live by those convictions. And some of his, for example, were something called the Penguin Award. So he was a professor, and one of the things he encouraged his students to do was to fail. So one of the projects was to come up with a new invention or something, and he gave an award at the end of that project to the person who failed epically, but the person who had a great idea but failed epically, because he wanted to let his students know to not be afraid of failure, to not be afraid of bold choices and going out on a limb and trying new things, because only when you do that and push yourself further and go into that new territory that amazing things happen and different things happen and new things happen. But to get there, sometimes you have a few failures along the way, and it's only the people who are willing to risk those failures and go big who will get that result eventually. He doesn't want people to just stay safe and stay doing the same things over and over. We want to bring new things into the world, new exciting developments and all that kind of stuff. So he would give this Penguin Award, something to do with the penguin. I can't remember what it was, but something to do with why the penguin. When the penguins have to dive off the ice shelf, one has to go first or something. And then it leads the way for all the other penguins to dive off the ice shelf and swim to get to the food source. I don't know, I've probably got that all wrong, but he took that example from a real life thing in nature, which I like. Another one was that struck me, how his wife got into a car accident and the car got a bit dinged up or whatever, still drivable though, and she was fretting, she was so nervous about telling her husband about the car accident and all the money they would have to spend on fixing it. And then, you know, husband came home, she tells him the news, and he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. And she's like, what do you mean it's fine? And he's like, yeah, no, it's all good, we don't need to fix it, it's still drivable, we're all good. And the wife is like, what do you mean we're not going to fix it? And the husband says, look, you married me and that means you get the full deal. So if you want me to be okay with an accident, you also have to be okay with this other side of me that is okay with accidents, which means that we don't fix things just because we want a brand new looking car. And his idea was that, you know, if it still works and it still drives, no need to fix it. And another example was, I think his sister had his niece and nephew over and they went into his car, like brand new car or something, and his sister said to the kids, make sure you don't spill anything in the car, like they had milkshakes or something. And when the sister left, he opened the car door and he just poured a milkshake onto the seat, and the kids were like, what are you doing, uncle? And he said, hey, one thing about me is that people are more important than cars. If you make a mess, that's fine. If you accidentally spill your milkshake on my thing, I'm not going to get angry at you, because I love you more than I love my car, and life's too short, or, you know, whatever, to fret and worry about being clean and not making mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And I just love how unconventional he is, like to go that far as to, you know, actually pour a milkshake on his car seats. And just his book is loaded full of different examples like that, and I just love his convictions. I love the way he thinks, I love his values, and I love his way of demonstrating it. Very unconventional, but it gets across a point, right? And I want to be more like that. So this book inspires me. Every time I read it, it inspires me to, I don't know, not be afraid to be unconventional, not be afraid of living by my convictions and core values, and to, just go for it, whatever that looks like for you. So I hope this was encouraging. I know it's not going to be a book for everyone, but that's right up my alley. Life lessons. I love learning. I love knowledge and wisdom and intellectual stimulation and insights and unconventionality, and yeah, I just love it. So this book not only inspires my life and my behavior, but it also inspires me to write. Every time I read this book, I want to write a book like this. So one day, it's on my bucket list, is to write a book of my own personal life lessons, my own beliefs, my own convictions, and to pass that on to the next generations. So that is that. Very short and simple, but again, with all my pages, they're all very meaningful to me. So this journal is just packed full of so much meaning, and I love it. I really love it. I think I just want to continue doing this, and just with all my journals, well, not all of them, but lots of my journals, just when I finish this journal, get another one and continue on with just fun memories and life insights and lessons and things like that. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with a Junk Journal with Me video for the next page. I'm saving this one and I'll do an actual process video for this one, so it'll be a bit longer. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.